Could this mean the end of purchasing real estate in the United States? Are these possible warning lights for a slowdown? Or are we on the brink of a total real estate crash? Is this the end of real estate investing as a whole here in the United States, or is there still hope for the future? Hi, my name is Anita. I'm a real estate agent that owns an over $1 million real estate portfolio, and in this video, we're going to be covering the key signs as to where the market is heading here in the United States. So in July 2025, single-family home sales declined by around 0.6%. down to an annual rate of about 652,000 homes. The consensus around the board after looking at multiple articles is generally because of higher mortgage interest rates sitting at around 6.58% and slower wage growth. So in English, that means a lot of people are just not making the amount of money that's required for homeownership. So there's a lot of falling prices right now, and one of the estimates for this is simply because of the fact that COVID really hyped up houses for us. Let's be real, a house that was $200,000 back in 2019 after COVID became valued at around $400,000. If we're being real, that house maybe, if we're being really nice, probably only went up to really about $250,000, but was still trying to be sold at $400,000. Now that the hype of just real estate flying off the shelves as well as COVID being gone, now people are no longer wanting to stay inside of their homes all day, the value of the home has started to decrease. So now we're experiencing a lot of sharp corrections to the market. So the houses are now kind of the price that they should have been from the very start, after the price going crazy high because of COVID. US inventory levels have also gone crazy high, reaching 1.55 million homes for sale. This is the highest since early 2020, with supply about 4.6 months out. And what's happening now is that a lot of homeowners are staying put instead of selling their house for less than they think it's worth. And to be fair, again, if you bought a house within the last 5-6 years and now you're trying to sell it, well, that's not great because you probably bought it at a crazy price and now you're not going to get what you actually paid for the house. Now, another thing that's pointing to a declining market is climate-related issues. Now, I don't know if anyone's heard about what's going on in Florida, but I live in Florida, and due to hurricanes and all sorts of natural disasters that we have down here in the South, insurance rates have gone up. HOA fees in turn have gone up because the HOA is like, well, we don't want to cover these costs. We're going to give it to the homeowner to pay. And because of this, a lot of condos, especially by the waterfronts here, have gone up so high in price that now these properties that used to cash flow for investors don't cash flow anymore. And properties that used to be owned by just your average guy or gal trying to make a living here have gone up so much higher in costs every single month. So people are trying to get out of these properties as a result. Okay, now we've mentioned a lot of doomsday in the market, but is it really true that the United States American housing market is doomed? Now here's the thing, just like most long-term investments, like the stock market, for example, when things go up, they must come down. But the good news is that now that we're in a down market, where is the real estate market gonna head in the future? Up. That's just the beauty of life. And so now, because it's a buyer's market, now this is actually a great time to potentially start investing in real estate, because now this is a buyer's market. A lot of sellers are willing to sell their homes for cheaper. Houses are coming back down to the real value that they're worth. And now this is a potential gold mine for somebody that wants to buy a house that maybe couldn't 3 to 4 years ago when the prices were skyrocketing. A lot of analysts are anticipating that 15-year mortgage rates could drop to around 5.5%, where previously they were over 7% just a year or two ago. And according to BlackRock, even though there's some challenges going on, like there always is in any real estate market, BlackRock's predicting that home prices are going to appreciate around 5% in 2025, which is pretty awesome. So that means just by doing nothing, just by holding on to a house, you could increase the house's value 5%, which 5% of these crazy prices of houses nowadays is a lot of money. Now, on the flip side, there's a lot of experts talking about that there's a lot of steady demand for real estate, and in some areas, in some cities, there's still not enough houses for the amount of people that live there. So there's really high demand in those markets, and a lot of experts are saying that they're not predicting a crash. There are some markets that are really highly performing right now, especially in the Midwest and Northeast. Markets like Cleveland, Hartford, or Detroit are actually going up significantly in value because there's a lot of people that want to live there. And at the end of the day, as a real estate agent and investor, I'll tell you this. The fact is that people are always going to need to live inside of a house. That's just something like breathing and eating. It's just a human necessity to have a roof over our head. And the reality is that that's always going to be a demand. Now, unless you buy a rural farmhouse in the middle of Idaho, most of the time, if you're anywhere near a big city, it's probably going to appreciate over time. So it's really hard to lose out in real estate. If you're buying a property in a market where a lot of people want to live in, it's really hard to lose out unless you way overpaid for it. But if you're watching this, you're probably an intelligent person and you're probably not going to pay $50,000, $100,000 more than a house is actually worth. Especially if you have a real estate agent, you're probably not going to get sideswiped like that. So most of the time, even if you buy a house at market value, let's say you don't even get a deal, the truth is if you wait 5 to 10 years, most of the time the house typically appreciates in value if it's anywhere near a city, and you're not going to lose out. This is why I always encourage everybody to start getting into real estate investing. Even if you're a complete newbie like I was, I'm telling you guys that at the beginning of this year, I actually started out with a $32,000 a year job and I had no assets. And now I have an over $1 million real estate portfolio, and it all happened in less than a year. And if I can do it just being your average gal working a 9-to-5 job, really anybody can do it. I've now been able to retire from my job. I don't have to keep showing up to my job every day. And now I can just passively enjoy my real estate investments because real estate is a true form of passive income. Obviously, yes, you will have to fix a toilet if it breaks or fix a shower head or stuff like that. But truthfully, having tenants is a very passive form of income, especially if you vet people and you have very nice, friendly tenants. All my tenants are amazing people. And we just have a really cordial, great relationship. And the truth is that it's very passive for me. They just send me the rent, I pay down my mortgage on the property, and the property keeps appreciating every year. So even without doing anything at all, my property value is increasing. So when I sell it, I'm going to make a lot of money. And by the way, if you want to learn exactly how I built a $1 million real estate portfolio as your average gal in less than a year, make sure to subscribe, as I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step process that I used to get here. And to continue, I do want to say that yes, so right now there are a lot of key signs pointing to the fact oh my gosh, the market is crashing. But the truth is that right now it's just a buyer's market. And in a few months to a few years, we all know what's going to happen. It's a cycle, it's a loop. Don't let anyone scare you and doomsday you, because eventually it is going to be a seller's market again. And this is actually great because once you are a real estate investor, or once you start investing now, where it's a buyer's market, so it's great for you to buy right now because you can get houses for cheaper, then what you can do is when the market is in a seller's market, you can then choose to actually sell your real estate properties if you would like to for a higher price. It's very similar to stocks. A lot of people get so scared when their stock is going down in value, but they don't realize that if they just hold on to it for long enough, it will actually increase way more in value than when they bought it. And that's why real estate investments can be a more safe type of investment compared to things that are kind of crazy, like cryptocurrency or other investments that people are pushing online nowadays. So collectively, we can see that our real estate market is actually shifting more towards balance more than anything. Because remember, a couple of years ago, it was a seller's market. Houses were booming in price, sky high. And now things are more in favor for the buyers because interest rates are decreasing and home prices are decreasing, so the buyers can actually start buying homes. We all heard about that American sad story that the average person with a job could not afford a house anymore. And I was in that exact same boat. So again, make sure to subscribe if you want to learn exactly how I purchased multiple houses and multiple investment units, just making $32,000 a year. I even purchased 2 of my homes completely on a credit card without any money at all. And I'm able to make thousands and thousands of dollars off of those properties now. So if you want to learn how to do that, make sure to subscribe. And again, you're amazing. Don't fall for all of the doomsday negative news out there, because the real estate market typically always ends up balancing itself out again. I'll see you in the next one.